Hi, good morning, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us today. Today, we have the good opportunity to speak to Mr. Ken Teo, who is actually an investor, blogger, speaker. He's also a registered property manager and also called by Star Property as a columnist for property investment for the ordinary man. Good morning, Ken. How are you?
Hi, everybody. Thanks, Ernest, for inviting me this morning.
Excellent. Ken, before we start, can we just have a quick recap in terms of what you're up to now and also a bit of a background?
Basically, I'm still in the real estate industry, but real estate, they have three pillars: valuations, transactions, and managing the buildings. So I'm more on the third part, which is managing the buildings on behalf of owner.
Right. Can I also inquire, when you say you're managing the buildings, you are actually managing the whole building as in like apartment complex, not just one single unit like a bungalow?
That's a typical confused when people know about property management. They thought we are the managing agent for particular units. So we collect the rents, release the units, we manage for landlords. But in Malaysia legal structure perspective, we are actually known to be more exact as a facility manager. We maintain the entire buildings, which is those areas that common owner are not going to access, like the domestic cold water pump rooms, like those tanki rooms, MSD room, LV room, which is, I think, a lot of owners, they are not aware what are those things.
Okay.
So we are managing we are the people behind the scenes.
Okay. Ken, can you, for those who just seen you for the first time or just tuning in, can you tell a little bit about your background, where you come from and what led you to where you are right now?
Actually, I'm a chemist by profession, but I didn't pursue that career because in between I found that I like real estate. So I found that real estate is a very beautiful product. Because why? In what we know in terms of real estate terminology, we call it a heterogeneous markets. It's not like stock markets. You go to Bursa, you can see everything. But real estate, if you spend some time on it, it actually can be very lucrative to investor, especially for ordinary people. And I realized that in order to, as ordinary people to invest, we need to know how to leverage. So I found that in all the investment products available in Malaysian market segments, I found that real estate is the most friendly to middle class income earner. That's why I started my real estate investment journey. But along the journey, I found that everybody are looking at buy, sell, making money, buy, sell, making money. Literally, what I realized is what contribute a value to a property is not just the brick and tile. It's actually the functions of the property. And how do we actually improve the value and improve the function of property is all about property management. How we maintain it so that your prospect, like your potential tenants or your potential purchaser, when they come into the buildings, they feel good. So what I realized is, I would say 70% to 80% of decision making buying a real property is not because of the individual unit. It's more like the environments of that buildings that make them to decide whether they want to buy. So the problem is, all the investors, they are looking at their particular units and they ignore the common facility, they ignore the importance of lift, they ignore the importance of having good security, armed force, or the security officer, which all these small things beyond our hands are actually contributing the value to the property, and people feel good, they feel safe. Oh, I would like to stay here. So that's the reason why I ventured into property management. Because why? I couldn't get someone to manage my own property. So since I couldn't get someone, I already have some property in hand. Like what can they say lah? So along the journey, I realized that Malaysia are very lack of property management knowledge and understanding. And that's why we have 20,000 strata buildings, but we're less than 3,000 licensed property managers.
So it could be either a fantastic business for these 3,000 licensed property managers, or some buildings are definitely having lack of property management professionals.
Yes, because from my personal experience, what I realized is, if a building is poorly maintained, the value of the building will shut down. Okay, one of the recent cases, I think it's last year, one of the Hong Kong celebrity, familiar with the things, he came to Malaysia, have a program called Zhao Lo Hui Malai, and the crew actually housed him at one of the condo service apartments in Oakland Road. and he actually commended that building is poorly maintained, and he pointed his two central finger towards the building, and it went on media, and I think it went quite viral. So what I realized is the property value of that particular building shoot down by 40%.
Wow. Okay, really tremendous impact.
Yeah, that's why all the owner are cursing. And why don't you let us sales first? Only then you condemn. So another real case that actually come to me is last year or so. One of the buildings, when we went in, the value of the building went down. So we were surprised. This is quite a nice location building. Why it happens like that? So only then we realized that buildings have not been under maintenance for the past 10 years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, the genset last calibration is 2013. 2013. The LEED JKKP certificate of fitness are already expired for more than 5 years. So the rooftop reservoir are not functioning. Basically, nothing that requires certificate of fitness in that particular buildings, nothing.
Isn't that a situation whereby the JMB or the RA needs to resolve?
The issue is there's no JMB for the past 10 years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Last minute of AGM, which submitted to Commissioner of Buildings, when we went to see Commissioner of Building and seek for more information, the last submitted is 2010.
Wow, that means it's pretty dysfunctional.
And they are totally unaware. There's an act called Strata Management Act 2013.
So what happens in this particular case? I mean, how do they resolve it?
So we came in. When we came in, we understand that they have no legal entity to be the caretaker of the buildings, which is the joint management body or the committee members. So we wrote to Commissioner of Building, seek for permissions to call for AGM immediately, within 21 days, to elect the council members to be the leader of the buildings and run the show. So Commissioner of Building actually granted a special approval, which is, in order to call general meetings, we must submit audited reports. But this building have not submitted any audited report for the past 10 years. So we can't actually call that AGM is a valid AGM because why? We didn't fulfill one of the important pillar. But because of due respect, we filed a police report. We actually filed a case to Commissioner of Building. We seek permission to run it without audited report. And we commit to furnish the audit report 3 months after the event. So now the building, we have elected building owners to be the committee members, and the building in the process of repairing. Just that the building is considered almost bankrupt.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. When the issue is when no one doing works, owner feel unhappy. So when owner feel unhappy, they refuse to pay. So when they refuse to pay, there's even low in terms of fund to run the show, which is maintaining the buildings. So they are even more unhappy. So it's a big cycle. So what we do is we perform a building conditions assessment, which is visual assessment, not by the building consultants, because they got no money. So we perform a basic building condition assessment. We actually present it over the AGM. So we let the resident know this is the condition of their buildings. So if you want to leave it, it's up to you. You are the owner. But if you want to do some things, this is the fund that we need. So we got about half the owner agreed to contribute more funds to do the repair. But as usual, we get about 20% of the owner, they die also don't want to spend money lah. So now we are in the education process. But because of the movement control order, the entire education process are forced to call off. We can't do anything because we cannot physically see them. And I think they're scared of us because we travel building from buildings. So we are considered one of the high risk taker in this case.
Could you do this digitally or technologically, leveraging off technology?
We wanted to. I wish to do it using technologies, but however, our framework of Strata Management Acts do not have these elements at all. So if we want to put every discussion, every conversation that we actually educate to the publics or to the individual owners, and we want to take it minutes as our evidence, so far, the acts only permit us to do it in a manual basis.
I see.
Not digital basis.
I see.
But digital basis, in terms of effort, it works. But in terms of putting it as a record, and submit to commission their bidding as to get endorsed. So far, this is a grey area that no one are willing to dare to offer endorsement.
Do you see that this situation with COVID-19 and the economic headwinds that are coming and not just affecting Malaysia but also regionally, do you think that this will affect the collections by the building owners themselves to maintain their properties properly?
There are two parts actually in terms of collections, because I think it's like a chicken and egg issue. So a lot of people actually misunderstand why we collect maintenance fee. They thought we are the entity collecting the maintenance fee and we are the one earning the maintenance fee. But in the matter of facts, we are not. The money goes to their dedicated account, which is managed by their elected committee members. So a lot of people say, now economy not good. We couldn't have income. We don't want to pay. Yeah, we get that kind of inquiry. They even write in complaint form that I'm not going to pay until when. But in our Malaysia legal settings, management fee is part of their contract when they buy the buildings. When they acquire the building, they are already aware. This is the money, they like it, they don't like it. It's part of their contribution. So this is the issue that currently we are facing with the owner. Owner thought, I'm not using your service. Sorry, I'm not going to pay. But in the matter of fact, under our legal structures, it's like you have a swimming pool. You don't want to swim. That is your absolute right. But if the owner refuses to swim and don't like to swim and don't know how to swim, is the maintaining activity of that particular swimming pool need to call off? We can't. So this is the education part, which is we need to make owner understand that paying maintenance fee is not what you like. It's what they are obliged to pay, and it's under the contract. If you don't pay, we can lead them all the way to court and get judgment, and they will lose the case. But in practical practice, we actually offer defer scheme at the moment.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for the condo under our management, but we are not offering defer scheme like bank automatically to everyone. Because why? We need the fund to pay electric bill, to pay water bill, to pay cleaner, to pay security. So we can't say, during movement control, security balik rumah, cleaner balik rumah. In fact, they're more rubbish than usual. More people stay at home. They cook. So the domestic disposal are actually increasing by double, some location triple. So cleaner have to do more work, more owner in the house, inside the compound. So that's why we offer deferred scheme to some owner that if they financially they declare they cannot afford, we are actually allow them to lock down a period of management fee without interest, and they pay by installments. This is what we help owner to overcome the issue. But we cannot totally cut down maintenance. The reason being is if you don't pay electric bill, the entire building is not going to have electrics.
That's right.
Yeah. So we only get discount. So now we are facing some owner asking for discount for maintenance fee. So the education comes back. We need to explain in terms of legal why is maintenance fee under legal structure. So law by law, pay. But however, committee are human also. They are understanding. So we came up with options to pay, which is to reduce everybody's burden. But overall, the total value that payable during this period of time, there's no discount given. Our strata management does not allow committee members to offer discount. Yeah,
because ultimately the money is collected is just to make the building better and to maintain the building for the owners again.
On the basic scale is to sustain the buildings, not to make it better, not to make to reduce the rate of deterioration. But some condo who have scale, economy of scale, their income are more, so then we can do improvement projects for the buildings. But it actually depends on the scale of the buildings. I would say any building below 200 units always have collection issue. Yeah, it's a more quiet. Yeah, it's a more quiet environment because less means you have to pay more to get the amount of value that you need to pay to outside. So I would say condo that have 300 units to 600 units are ideal. They can survive. But anything that less than, I would say micro buildings, which is we have a lot in Malaysia, micro buildings. Micro buildings are actually struggling to survive because they only have 150 units. If let's say 30 don't pay, it's 30% not paying already.
Ken, correct me if I'm incorrect. I mean, the option to not pay is not there because it's actually a legal challenge after that, right? It's a
Yes,
legal
yes,
matter. So it's not a
yes,
question of not wanting to pay. So it's just going to be a matter of time before they have to pay.
yes, yes. So what we offer is we allow them to have more flexible payment structure.
Okay.
And we don't charge interest during these periods, but they must apply. It's not automatically like what Bank Negara instructions, because they are different.
So are you saying that what you've seen so far, low dense developments tend to have a bit of a challenge in terms of collection or full collection?
Yes, yes. Low density always have less units. Less unit means less contributor. So one or two contributors are not paying is quite significant. Give you examples. Low dense always have penthouse because people want a big house. If penthouse owner are not paying, I would say 35% of the collections are gone already.
But would you also say that the low dense would also cater towards people who have a different economic standing?
You can say people buy low dense because they are in terms of earnings, in terms of financial capacity, they are higher, but not entire buildings. There are people who just reach the borderline and they want to be live like better lower dense, so they buy. But actually they are struggling paying their mortgage, which is like maybe they bought the house for 1.2 millions, low dense, nice luxury condos, so they're paying like 4,000-5,000 a month. And suddenly you told them that your management fee, recently we had one case, management fee need to increase by 300%. And by increasing 300%, that is just enough to pay daily operation, no repair at all. So residents are jumping as usual. They don't understand. They thought, where's the money gone? But after we explain, they never have increments for the past 10 years because of the non-audit issue. And they are not maintaining the building for the past 10 years. That's why nothing spent. But because of not performing a maintenance for the past 10 years, most of their M&E are gone already. It's like the car. You don't drive your car, maybe after MCO, a lot of cars need to send to workshops because you're not driving. So mechanical components. So all the building mechanical components are not in good shape.
Right. Okay.
So now we need to spend money to make it good.
Do you see this also the same situation whereby where buildings where have a lot of units for investor purposes? That means a lot of investors purchase those units, and therefore they don't stay there. Do you also see this challenge in the properties that you manage?
In fact, yes. I think 1 week before MCO, I just managed to help one investor acquire approximately 57 units. I would say professional investor, this is a good time to buy. Very good time to buy, because prices are way affordable when compared to previous time. So, and I foresee a lot of renters activities. It's increasing. Maybe youngsters are skeptical to buy, but we are in the city. So people come here for education, they come here for job opportunity. So literally, they are here to make a living. They need accommodations. They may not buy, maybe, at these junctions, but they need shelter. So in fact, there are more rental activity ongoing. But because of MCO, we are actually cutting off all the moving in requests. In fact, we are getting like 5 to 20 requests per week. And it never stops. Now landlords are cursing because their rental affected. Yeah. And those landlords are actually not happy to pay.
Not happy to pay.
Not happy to pay. They have no money to pay. They are not happy to pay. Okay. Because you stop my tenants, you stop my incomes. I'm not happy. But in the matter of fact, we have to do it because we have to cut down all the potential source of a carrier into the buildings. Because what I affect the most is not they go out and get affected. Infected, not affected. It's what they get infected and they bring home. So a building of 1,000 units, now you have 2 units suspect and not confirmed infected. How am I going to house another 998 house? I cannot evacuate the building and say, no, this building is not safe, everybody move out. That is their house. That is not the investment property, which is they can easily leave it and go to next house. So this is the issue that why during this MCO periods, we actually need collaboration from owner, not to have too many activities.
Right, understood.
Yes.
Coming back towards your talks and your sharings with regard to property and property investment for next generation, how do you see the new normal being after this particular period of time and after the economic turmoil? Where do you see property investment?
Okay, in terms of property investment, for me, I still personally think that it's the most safe products to invest. Why? One of the reasons, when you buy property, and because of these disease issues, now government are helping you. 6 months no need to pay installments. If you go to stock market, do you think they're going to offer you 6 months no interest? I think no. Property is the only products because it affects domestic markets. That's why government will intervene. Government will actually step in and offer incentive to house owner. So we put it two way. If I'm a house owner, now I got 6 months no need to pay installments, and I understand that most of the bank are offering no compounding interest during these periods. This is a beautiful program for a house owner. So I can strengthen my cash flow for other emergencies. But in terms of investor, cantik loh. No need to pay 6 month installment or 6 month rental are pure income now. So that might affect their year-end income tax. But for investor who actually have 4 or 5 units collecting, like let's say each unit 2,000 ringgit rentals, they are now literally 12,000 richer every month if they manage to tenant their units. So that's why in terms of government policy, when it comes to real estate is always the first one to be protected. So I found that real estate is safe. Second thing, and accommodation is still a strong demand. We are not, I would say if it's in Italy, the mortality rate are so high, maybe after the disease, the population will shrink. But in Malaysia, I would say at the moment, our mortality rate are still very low. Although we have people contributed to the statistic already, but it does not affect the entire population. And we are still a young growing population nation. Our birth rate, our move-in rate are still on the high scale, which is more people are moving in. What I'm talking about is city. Countryside, I'm not sure because of career opportunity, because of education opportunity, generally they are lower. But people are moving into cities. So major city accommodation demands are still on the high side. In fact, I foresee more people going to room rental rather than entire units to save costs. Because literally we don't need the entire house, but we need a room. We need a clean room, toilet, bathrooms that we can do our daily activities. So I foresee more youngsters in terms of cost savings. They might move into room rentals to actually reduce their overhead.
Sorry, coming back to what you were saying just now, and you look at the rentals happening and you are tying the rentals happening to where the jobs are. So presumably you're looking at not whole of Malaysia having a rise at the same time. It'd be different pockets rising at different times, different parts of Malaysia, or different parts of the town.
Possible.
But
this crisis will affect the SME. Because SME, their cash flow are not as strong as MMC. So I would say we foresee a group of people going to lose their jobs.
Okay.
Especially during this movement control orders. I think a lot of SME owner, they realize that some of their headcount in their company are actually redundant. With or without them, the companies can still operate. So this is the time a lot of company owner, because why? SME, let's say they have 20 to 30 employees. I would say with or without sales, every month they need to contribute at least 100,000 to pay salary. So every month bleeding 100,000 for SME boss, I would say it's painful. In fact, we are facing the issue. We are facing that issue because all our property management crew they can't go to work, only the maintenance team. But their salary is still ongoing. So we also affect that owner are not paying management fee. We couldn't get our fees on time. Our cash flow will get affected. But last night we have a 67 group of people, which is SME owner, discussing about this MCO issue. So we all conclude one thing. We found that a lot of redundant headcount in the company. When company expand, they just hire. But now all the bosses are actually looking into, are this particular employee important to the company? Is it essential to hire this position? If it's not, we better let go. So I foresee a lot of these kind of not so important positions, people might get a love letter lah after the events, which is but does market mean that they are going to permanently lose their jobs? I think no. If they have skill, if they have acquired a certain capacity to actually help the company, I think the market is still willing to reinstate them. So it's the capacity, is what your value bring to the company will decide whether you can stay.
Great.
And in fact, I think more people will actually choose to hire fresh, cheaper.
So it'd be a cost function.
Yes. I think they are moving into that stage. But I will not say maybe after MCO, then suddenly 100,000 people lost jobs. I will say it actually take time. But this is the time that company owner can actually monitor who are the important key persons, the gear in the company, the important gear, not those accessories. So whether we are accessories or we are the gear, this period is actually giving us a good time to observe. But generally, we see retail will affect because we're not going out, we're not shopping. But however, my friends who doing online business, their business shoot up a lot. And the challenge they face is they have orders, they have collected the money, but they cannot deliver. Yeah, logistic company are shutting down by certain scales. So they have sales, but they have difficulty to deliver the sales. But good thing of online business is you collect first, not COD.
But if you don't deliver, you have to pay back as well.
Yeah, I understand. But because of MOC, you don't deliver. It's not the company mistake. It's ordered by the authority. They just need to comply.
Yeah. So, great. Well, thank you so much for your time, Ken. We definitely got a lot of insights from you with regard to how you see property management and the importance of property management regardless of whether there's MCO or not, and how property management is going to affect the value of any particular building per se. So your role is actually a very critical and crucial role to help property owners and property investors to not just maintain, but also possibly to improve the value of the property moving forward. Yeah?
Yes. I would say this period, we can't, a lot of owner actually request, a lot of committee member request to cutting down maintenance works. How we educate them is like a car. You don't maintain your car 6 months down the roads, the car is not going to give you good conditions. And that will affect your household's living standards. So that's why we hope owner, they are not cutting throat over this part, because it will affect the property value in long term.
Great.
Yeah.
Last thought before I let you go for the day. Ken,
yes.
In your own personal portfolio, are you looking to buy this time around? Are you looking to dispose? Are you looking to hold
in fact,
on?
I just come across few good deals. we are thinking whether should we take up. We are doing our calculations. If the calculation allow us to continue to take up more units, yes, we wish to take up more units, because it's easily more than 35% now.
Well done. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Straight from the horse's mouth, Ken Teo and his opinion of what's going to be happening and his strategy to acquire and build wealth at this point in time. Despite whatever is happening, there are still opportunities out there. So thanks again for tuning in. And all the very best, Ken. We'll see you soon. Take care.